Welcome back to the Gweilo 60 channel. Today I'm going to be talking about Taiwan and the problems that Taiwan is creating, not only for themselves, but China, the United States, actually the world. And it's all because of one political party, the Democratic Progressive Party of Taiwan. Yes, and President Tsai Ing-wen, the president that's been president in Taiwan since 2016. She's been in there for 7 years. 7 years. And what has she done in that 7-year time period? She's alienated China as a whole. She's embraced the American policy of anti-China rhetoric. She has purchased billions of dollars worth of American arms to be used against the Chinese mainland. The first quarter of this year, just the first quarter of this year, the Taiwan economy shrunk by over 3%. Because the DPP has brought it on the Taiwan people to do less trade with the Chinese mainland. Why is this? Well, because they want to decouple. They want to listen to the American rhetoric and decouple from China politically and economically. And because the Chinese mainland is the biggest trading partner of Taiwan, about half of all of their trade is with the Chinese mainland. This hurts their economy big time, and 3% for an economy of over 20 million people is big dollars. So they want to decouple economically. They want to push independence from China onto their people with the help of the United States government and their puppets. And that's a red line, and always has been a red line since 1949, when the KMT lost the Civil War and ran to Taiwan and were protected by the Americans. And you know, the history is there, where the Americans have been interfering in Chinese internal affairs since that time period, and you know, backing Taiwan militarily. Well, they say militarily, they have never had to do that because China hasn't lifted a finger militarily against Taiwan. And economically has helped Taiwan through thick and thin over the years, because, as I say, half of all of Taiwan's trade is with the mainland. But because the DPP and President Tsai are following the United States and their puppets down this anti-China road, that red line is being crossed. As soon as independence is on the ballot, if that ever goes through, that is a red line for the Chinese people and the Chinese government. So this entire sort of scenario that we're looking at in Taiwan has made them sort of a place that people don't want to invest in. Look at Warren Buffett the other day, and Berkshire Hathaway have pulled all of their money out of TSMC, the world-leading semiconductor business in Taiwan. And what did he say that why they did this? Because the geopolitical position that Taiwan is putting itself into at this particular point in time against China, one of its biggest trading partners, makes it a place that people don't want to invest in, because there could be military conflict in the very near future. And if there's military conflict in the very near future, then your investment just goes poof. And there's a lot of other companies that aren't going to Taiwan. Why? Because they have to pick whether they're going to deal with Taiwan or they're going to deal with the mainland, the Chinese mainland. And because you've got 20 million people here that can buy your product, or you've got 1.4 billion people here that can buy your product, it's just the best economic decision for these companies to look and work with China rather than Taiwan. So as the Americans get more entrenched into Taiwan, moving troops to Taiwan to train the Taiwan military against the Chinese mainland. Yes, as they build this anti-China hate sort of scenario in Taiwan against the Chinese mainland, things will only get worse. The one thing that might stop it is if the Taiwan government takes a different stance, becomes more open to working with China rather than working against China. We all see how the economies of the United States and Canada and Great Britain are doing at this particular point in time. And it's not good. They're failing. Another democratic failure. Exactly. And now they want Taiwan to follow along in the footsteps of that democratic failure. And it seems like the DPP is just all in, hook, line, and sinker. Well, there's got to be a reason for that, right? You know what I mean? President Tsai is going to be out in January. They're going to have elections. William Lai is going to replace her, so she doesn't have to worry about next year, 2 years, 3 years down the road. She was educated in the United States and the UK. She's a lawyer. We all know that, well, I used to deal with lawyers all the time, and you don't have to be a brain surgeon to pass the bar, is what I found out. And a lot of lawyers are crooked bastards, and it looks like she's one of those people, because I would imagine that she's going to be getting paid big bucks by the American government to take this stance and push her political party in this direction during the 7-year time period. Why else would somebody turn on their own people? Yes. So in another year, she'll probably be living large in the United States or the UK on money that the government has paid her to influence Taiwan's political direction over the last 7 years. Seems just about illegal, doesn't it? The United States had a policy, has a policy, and will have a policy of a one China policy. Yeah, all of the policies. And they swore up and down that they wouldn't have formal ties with Taiwan. But whether they're out in the open or covert, they do have formal ties. They've made laws in the United States concerning China and Taiwan. The United States President has said they will defend Taiwan militarily. Plus, they say that they still adhere to the one China policy. Well, when you look at stuff like this, you know the influence is coming from the highest levels of the G7. Yeah, they not only want Taiwan to be a thorn in the side of China, but they also want Taiwan not to prosper. One of the politicians said the other day on a talk show that if China was to take over Taiwan, they would bomb TSMC, the semiconductor plant. This is how much they care about the Taiwan people. You know what I mean? So when you're looking at Taiwan and saying, well, is Taiwan a country? Is Taiwan a province of China? Is it a special autonomous region of China? What is Taiwan? You have to understand how Taiwan became what it is today. the Civil War, the American influence after the Civil War. So the Civil War has never ended in China because the communists kicked the living bejesus of the KMT, and they ended up on the island of Taiwan, which was given back to Beijing after the Second World War by the Japanese. It wasn't given back to the KMT guys, it was given back to Beijing, the Chinese people. Okay, so because of its strategic position, Taiwan, if it was an American military base place, would be a thorn in the side of China. And that's one of the main reasons why Taiwan is a red line with the Chinese people. The Chinese people will not allow Taiwan independence. As the DPP is pushing for Taiwan independence, backed by the United States, the G7, and all these other countries from Japan to South Korea to Canada, the UK to Australia to the United States to you name it, are pushing. But none of these countries recognize Taiwan as a legitimate country. They recognize Taiwan as part of China. So as a political unrest in this area, the Asian, Sino-Asian area of the world escalates because of the American intrusion, interference into Taiwan and China's internal affairs goes on. We're going to have to wait to see exactly what happens because, as I say, it's a red line for China. The White House has said that they will defend Taiwan militarily. They don't recognize Taiwan as a country. They recognize the One China policy. It's all over the board, so people don't understand really what's going on in this theater. And it is sort of like a show. All I know is Taiwan's economy is going down. They're spending way too much money on military arms. Instead of bolstering their trade with their biggest trading partner, the Chinese mainland, they're pulling back, they're uncoupling. And this is all because of the influence of the Western political elite. Anyway, that's my opinion on Taiwan, guys. I hope you like it. Or I'm sure there's some people that won't like it, but comment section below, hit the subscribe button, all of those things. Tell me what you think. What would be your solution to this problem? Anyway, that's another video from Gweilo 60 on Minzu Da Dao. Minzu Avenue, the main avenue through Nanning City, Guangxi Autonomous Region, mainland China. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe. Push that share button. Don't forget to resubscribe. Put a couple bucks on the Patreon account. And until next time, peace out. Thanks for watching. Bye now.